Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Hi, family, and welcome to Perspective with Itu. Boom, 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 boom. So, as usual, we have another amazing guest here today who is going to relay his story, and we're here to just, learn those little nuggets from him. Relatable stories that are here to bring perspective, into people's lives, but also into people's souls and spirits, right? So without further ado, we have an amazing guest here today, and his name is Penuel.
Like when I walked in here, I was so intimidated, and I think I need to start off by saying congrats on the setup.
Sure, thank you.
Whenever I see like huge production crews like the one you have here, I always get intimidated. And for people that maybe may not know, I just want to thank you for praying before we started. I have my own belief system.
Yes.
People may or may not know.
Yeah.
But I'm always inspired when I meet someone who is strong in their faith.
Sure.
Whatever that is, because it means you have a value system, you have a core. And more than anything, you're just blessing us coming together.
Sure.
So shout out to you, shout out to the entire crew that's here that people won't see. And thank you for the invite.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so blessed that you're here, and like I said, we are just here to just have a beautiful conversation to help people. So just to start it off, I'm a motivational speaker, and my talks normally are about reaching your full potential, purpose, life, and so forth. And then I use my personal story, which is, I got burned from a candle when I was 11 months old, one hand, one finger, blah, blah, blah. And I can do everything, right? Then so can you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have come back to me and said, look, you are like an extreme case, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking for relatable stories. So that is why for me it was important to bring amazing guests who are doing amazing things in society today, to say that, look at this favorite guy of yours, and he has been through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 save, and here he is today still reaching his full purpose, life, and so forth. So yes, mine might be a little bit extreme, but I'm also bringing you relatable stories, and that's why you're here.
Thank you so much. I hope people will find it relatable. And look, I have to defend them. They're very right. For what you went through, the average person would never. They would wallow for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
But you can't say this because it is true that you're an outlier, and I hope you own that.
Yes.
But the important thing to what you're saying is I may be an outlier, but there are aspects of my life that probably appeal to you, and that you can also say, I've actually been through some tough thing, and if I could do it, there's nothing stopping you.
Then so can you, right? Yeah. So, Penuel, you are a lot of people's wildest dream.
Wildest dream?
And I'll tell you why.
Nightmare.
And I'll tell you why. Because you are the one person that says whatever is on your mind, and you're not afraid to do it, while the rest of us do it behind scenes because we want to get gigs, like whatever the case may be. You are just like, listen, and you remind me a lot of this one guy that I love, Andrew Tate.
Come on.
I love him so much. Are you not afraid of what they did to him, or rather of like what they are doing to him right now?
Afraid. I'm supposed to say yes, I think. We are, from birth, we are exposed to a lot of role models. And I think a whole lot of us gravitate towards different people. Whether it's TV soapies, ufuna uba rich, or on Generations, ufuna uba ungamla, or Archie.
Yeah.
Or fast forward to today, where some of the role models we have, you've got your Andrew Tates, maybe you've got someone like Will Smith. Before a lot of the scandals, he was more of like the perfect guy. Brad Pitt, 4 guys. South Africa, you've got our presidents, you've got some of our celebrities here, etc. From a young age, I always gravitated to the rebels for some reason. Tupac was a huge rebel, but he had a good heart and he had a good message for people. We've got Jordan Peterson as well now, obviously Andrew Tate. Look, I can mention people like Julius Malema. You've got these people that speak truth to power, and they're like, I know what people say behind closed doors in WhatsApp groups, and I am going to say it because they won't. And because I've lived my life like that, I have tried to study a lot of them, including some of the world leaders. Robert Mugabe, controversial. Adolf Hitler, controversial. The guys who go all the way to the top in whatever their conviction is, good or bad. And I've tried to take some of the lessons, at least the good parts, and avoid the bad so that I don't end up in jail or murdered.
Exactly, yeah.
The reality is the world has only been shaped by what we call crazy people. Kanye West, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money. That's why we listen to them. If Kanye said the things he said, but he was living in a 4-room somewhere, people are like, now I'm going to shine.
Exactly.
But with that being said, I have a responsibility with the voice I have, with the brain that I have, with the opportunities I have, to try and speak to people, to their souls, because so many of them are scared.
Sure.
I'm lucky that you speak about Andrew Tate now, but there's Dave Chappelle, stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You've got probably the biggest podcaster in the world, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
People have tried to cancel them. Joe Rogan, they tried to remove from Spotify after his $200 million deal. Dave Chappelle, I think, had a $60 million deal on Netflix, and they tried to cancel him. Transgender was Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
COVID was Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
But I watched how they managed to be bulletproof. And I think I was kind of reminded that if you want the world to listen to you, you have to earn a license.
Sure.
I think that's one of the things people don't understand and don't respect. You're a motivational speaker. You get on platforms. You speak. Over time, that does something to you. By the time you get somewhere, let's say, for example, you said, roast me. You see how I look, you've heard my story, roast me. Because you want to develop this thick skin so that by the time you meet Oprah, by the time you meet some celebrity, if they mention something, and if they mention something that is not nice, you're like, I've been trained.
Exactly.
I've been on social media since Facebook went big here, I think in 2005. I've been posting my thoughts and I've been attacked. So now that people are starting to see me, you know, I've been trained. So a lot of these things just bounces off me.
Okay.
You know, but in what I'm doing and what people like Kanye are doing, like people like Andrew Tate are doing, all we're trying to do is we're trying to light a candle for people out there to be like, don't be afraid. You're not alone. Don't be scared. And watch what's happening with us and learn from us. So Andrew Tate got arrested. How do we teach kids to be maybe strong male figures, but avoid jail?
Sure.
So you look at his business interests. You're like, okay, if I go into business, maybe I won't do online girls. That becomes one of the ways. Maybe if I buy cars, let me not make it too flashy because there are always going to be jealous people.
Yeah.
And so you learn the lessons. But then you make sure that you do good. Do charity work. Be seen with good people. I've got children, man. So like I speak about my kids. People need to know I have a life and I'm human.
Yeah.
Because then that's the relatable part. To be like, okay, so at least this guy talks whatever, trash, I don't like him, but he's got kids and he loves them. He complains about the same thing I'm complaining with. He's like, guys, I'm under load shedding. You're like, oh, you also get load shed.
Yeah.
Siyabonga. I'll tell you about my mom, who was a single mother. Oh, okay, I have a single mother. My mother grew up in a village. It's a township now called Sekhu-Pedi.
Okay.
We try to find these relatable things to tell our story so that whatever happens with me, you guys can see that. And if one day people are coming for me, you will be like, I think this guy talks a lot of nonsense. I don't really like him. But shame, I've seen a side of him where he's human. And for that reason, I will defend him because it's his voice. I don't agree with it. But if I don't defend him, tomorrow when I'm being attacked for whatever,
exactly,
people like him will not be able to defend me.
Yeah.
So I think I've just studied a lot of role models that are rebellious, speak truth to power, but I've tried to earn a license to say the things I say, and then I also try to protect myself so that bad things don't happen to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had Maurice Webster, and he was talking about how to live truthfully, and he said that we have been lied to. So we have been told that you need to create a brand, and there are certain things that you can say, and there are certain things that you can't say. But people are more gravitated towards people who are living their truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about you, is that you're constantly living your truth. Like when there's load shedding, you will mention it.
And swear.
You're not afraid that you will not get that gig because now you are speaking badly about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What does living truthful mean to you?
It's a very complicated and deep topic.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a money world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We didn't live in a money world before. Before we used to live in a value world.
Sure.
What that meant is, what value do I have? What value do you have? What value do I have that you'd like? And in exchange, you will give me some of your value.
Yeah.
So we do an exchange.
Yeah.
It was bartering. Later on, this concept of money came. And money, in effect, has become God. What I mean by that is, money determines which school you go to. Money determines what type of healthcare you get. It determines where you move to. You move to a Joburg, Cape Town because of money.
Yeah.
For some people, it determines who you get intimate with, have children with. Oh my gosh, I want to have his kids. Have you seen how much money he has? It's wild. But that's how powerful and influential money has become.
Sure.
And because there are a few people that control how money works in the world, they have defined how to access the money. And how to access the money is they want you to have a certain brand. Where did you study? What qualifications do you have? How do you look? How do you speak? Etc., etc. And that's where people start moving in a certain direction. And in that direction, you have to lie to yourself. So I want to start off by saying, if you are after money,
sure,
it is almost always going to be impossible to live a truthful life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what space you're in. You're going to have to pretend to be polite, even though you're angry. I'm going to meet the Minister of Electricity or the President of the country or the Minister of State-owned enterprises, and then have to be polite. Good day, sir. How are you? Because maybe I'm trying to get money. But if I don't care about money, and I care more about truth and real value, I don't mind getting on a platform and telling them how I really feel.
Sure.
But I can only say this because I understand my privileges. You know, if there's one thing I am, it's aggressively self-aware. What that means is when people are like, oh, people like you, I can explain why. And I can explain why I have a license that the next person can't. They have a job.
Yeah.
They have something to lose. I don't. The way I make money, people don't even know.
Yeah.
So my money can't be attacked. Number two, I've created a minimalist lifestyle so that I can live with the bare minimum.
Sure.
You can take my car, can take my house, you can take my clothing. I'm still okay, but I had to develop that over time. So you can't threaten me with, they'll take my medical aid and I lose my pension. What if I lose my job?
Yeah.
And then I've figured out, maybe we'll speak about looks, because looks are currency. We'll speak about how I manage and grapple with the English language, because this becomes one of the tools that allows people to like me or hate me.
Yeah.
So because of that, I can live a life that seems more truthful than others. But what truth means to me is peace.
Sure.
If you do not have peace,
sure,
you can never say you are living in truth. And now your peace could come from being a brand, speaking a certain way, being with certain people, looking a certain way. And I ask you at night when you sleep, when you're alone, when no one is there, when you are sick and coughing, when you visit your extended family in the villages, how do you feel? And you're like, Penuel, I sleep comfortably. I'm at peace. But you realize you're with this guy for money. You realize you lie on platform. You're like, I have peace, bro. Where do you find that person can maybe explain?
Yeah.
Maybe I take some of the money and I donate. Maybe even though I'm with this guy because of money, I have helped family members gain opportunities because of him.
Yeah.
That's where and you're like, okay, I can't fault you. But if you do not have peace, you cannot be living a truthful life.
Sure.
Because we're born alone, we die alone. And we keep ourselves busy until we die. And if you cannot be by yourself, and if you are scared of your own thoughts,
yes.
and if you cannot sleep at night,
yeah.
you need to change.
Yeah.
Because you're not living your truth.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
So living truthfully for me means that like when I sleep at night, when there's thunderstorms and I'm sleeping.
Yes.
And it means when I walk, and it doesn't matter who I meet, I can look them in the eyes.
Sure.
Because I'm not like, oh,
yes.
there's the lady I stole money from.
Like, oh my God.
I can look at them in the eyes, and if they're like, Penuel, I once gave you money and you lost it, I'm like, Siswam, I'm so sorry. I was trying to run a business, my business crashed, but I can look you in the eyes because I'm like, I'm at peace because I know that I did my best. So for almost everyone who wants to know what living truthfully is, it means finding peace. If I was not saying the things I say on social media, I would not have peace.
Sure.
Because then I'd sit and be like, why is no one saying anything?
Yeah.
Why is no one? I'd wake up at night and be like, so we're all going to just keep quiet about it. I would not be at peace.
Yeah.
So the only way I can find peace is expressing and speaking on behalf of other people because I know why they're scared and I'm not.
Yeah.
So on their behalf, while protecting them, I'm not going to be like, oh, Itu, Nyamazo fell up in where she was. So Itu said that you guys are.
Yes.
Because then I destroy you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, guys, I've met a lot of amazing people and some of them are not happy with you.
Sure.
Some of them live in places like Johannesburg and whatever. So I need to protect you, but I still need to speak truth. Like, who is that? I'm like, it doesn't matter. But you're lying, there's no such. I'm like, you can say whatever you want, but I promise you, when this thing comes out, look at how many likes, look at the comments, and look at the people that follow me. That's all the proof you'll ever need to know that I'm speaking truths here. So that's what living truthfully means to me. Yeah.
Sure. I love what you're saying because, and I want to move away, but like what you said resonates so much with me that we think that we are living lives of truth, but we have been told how to live like to seem like you're successful, you're okay, you're building that brand, or like whatever the case may be. So every single realm of your life has been predetermined by that 1% of those people who say, so if you want to be in this clique, you need to behave this way. You need to speak in this manner. You need to say these things, and whatever that you really want to say, don't say it because then you won't find jobs. And I think that is so sick. And it takes me back to, and I didn't want to talk about this, but it literally takes me back to how even the word beauty, for example, has been defined.
Of course.
Right? By people who don't even fit that same realm that they say beauty is supposed to look like.
Yeah. I don't want to be controversial, but I have to. Let me rather ask you a question.
Yes.
How do you feel seeing u-Anele Mdoda as one of the main judges of Miss South Africa, considering what we've become accustomed to Miss South Africa looking like and what u-Anele herself looks like? Do you think that she feels like I could be one of these women? Or do you feel like she thinks, oh my gosh, this is how they look, but I wouldn't be able to even qualify, but I have to judge who of them looks like that?
Sure. Yeah, and it's exactly that, that our mindsets have been predefined for so many years that you feel like when you're this certain weight, for example, or like you look like a particular manner, that you can't be a certain person. So I think we need to let go and we need to start thinking once again.
You're being diplomatic.
No.
Do you think Anele would select a girl that looks like her?
Wait. We need to get to a point as people, right, that we start thinking for us, ourselves. Because, and I'm going to say that now, because like you were saying, because we know Miss South Africa to be in a certain weight, height, that we think that she can't.
Sure.
But yes, because of the mindset, she will not choose somebody that looks like her.
That's sad, right?
Because of that thing, mindset, where
sad, right?
we have been told how a person is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And that is what saddens.
I'm jumping on it because you said the definition of beauty is defined by some people that can't even meet.
Yes.
So an Anele might be like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And you're like, why would you say that? And do you think you're pretty? Would you pick a girl like you?
Sure.
She trended on social media for, still to this day, people still drag her for Kelly Rowland.
Yeah.
She was in America. She was like, yo, guys, I saw Kelly. She's not the way. And people were like, who are you to say that? And it played on some of those things. It's very heartbreaking. And I was going to ask you this other question. I'm sorry for...
No, please, yeah.
Do you embrace that you are a leader? Because I know we are trying to inspire and empower people. But the reality is some people are like, I'm scared to stand on my own. I'm scared to speak out. I want you to lead me, Itu.
Yeah.
You represent me. I see myself in you. I will do whatever you need. I will send you the money. I will give you ideas. I will come to your performances. I will do whatever, but I don't want to be you. Because we live in a world where, using Andrew Tate as an example, I see so many young men gravitating towards him.
Yeah.
But if you look at how he lives,
yeah,
most of those young men are not willing to do what he does. But they find some comfort in almost escaping through him, and they'll give him money and retweets and likes. And what do you think a leader is? Do you acknowledge that you are a leader? And what do you think your responsibility is to people who would rather follow you than let you turn them into leaders?
I am a leader, and I'll tell you why. Because I have redefined the word beauty, and not just for me, but for thousands and thousands of people. And I've made people believe that they are beautiful, right? And see their beauty. And for me, it came from my own personal life, where I had to find my own beauty. Because, once again, about how society and media has said media has said this is how beauty is supposed to look like. Am I ready to be controversial in the name of beauty? Absolutely. I think I'm that point now in my life where I'm like, if you really want to change something, you really need to stand out. And it reverts back with like what you were saying, about the people that are actually changing the world are people that are going against the masses.
Yeah.
And one of my way of being controversial is not putting on makeup. I have intentionally made that thing for myself that I'm not going to put on makeup because I'm already beautiful.
Yeah.
Why should I put on makeup? For what? You know what I mean? And also how makeup makes people feel like. You hear a very beautiful girl saying, wait for me, let me just, so now you sort of like sit back and then you think to yourself that, so you think that makeup makes you beautiful?
Sure.
You think that without it, then you're not beautiful? And that is my problem.
But this is a deep conversation. This is a deep topic.
Yeah. Where now you are masking your own beauty with what has been told to you beauty is supposed to look like. And now if you don't fit that realm, then you are not beautiful. And that is my thing. But I'm beautiful with my scars.
Do you have a list of questions?
I do. And now we've gone.
No, I'm scared because I have a lot of things to say, but I'll keep them to myself in the interest of your questions.
No, please.
Are you sure?
Yeah, say them.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let me start by asking, how do you feel you've redefined beauty outside of I don't wear makeup?
I have redefined beauty by saying I've got scars. 70% of my face is scarred.
Yeah.
And I'm beautiful.
That's it.
And that's it. And now that goes more deeper, right? To say that you find people who will have like a little sonyana here.
Pimple.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't go out.
Oh my God, I can't live.
Yeah.
So now it's like, but do you realize that anything can happen to you? Do you realize that that pimple does not define your beauty? And yet again, 70% of my face is scarred, and I'm saying I'm beautiful. And now that shocks a lot of people, right? To say, but then they start seeing the beauty, because beauty is actually not a physical appearance. Beauty is how you feel like within. And now once you are sure of your beauty from within, then it glows, externally. And the word beauty is actually French word called beauté, right? And now beauté is actually not a physical appearance. Beauté means that you're glowing, you're shining. So the reason why people see my beauty now is because I myself from within have said I'm beautiful, and therefore that resonates externally. And that's why so many people are now saying, oh my God, you're so beautiful. But that was never the case until I had to redefine that word for myself. And I think that is the power of redefining matters that have always been a problem for you.
Yeah.
And actually, that was my next question to you. To say, have you had struggles with low self-esteem? And also, how did you overcome those struggles?
I had more questions, but I'll hold them back.
Ask, please.
As long as you don't answer. I want to ask them. We'll put them in the air. If there's time, you'll answer them.
Okay.
If not, but please don't answer. You spoke about makeup to hide your natural beauty. And I wanted to ask where we draw the line, considering that today women wear clothing to look beautiful. You do as well. Things like hair. Are we meant to strip ourselves of everything? So the makeup is just the face, but why do you do your hair up? Why do you not just let it grow wild? Why are you not naked, in inverted commas, like African women used to be before the colonizers came telling us we must dress up and cover our natural? So at which point do we draw the line? And then the second one was going to be the power of language and how important you think your ability to speak has played a factor in you redefining beauty. And would you have been able to redefine beauty if you couldn't speak, couldn't tell your story, couldn't explain to people your confidence and where it comes from, etc.? So we'll leave those in the air.
Okay.
I've had a couple of low self-esteem moments in my life. Very, very few, because as far as the way the world is defined and designed, I tick a lot of boxes which give me immediate privileges. If I was born blonde, blue-eyed, tall, white, maybe American man from a well-off family, I'd probably be at the pinnacle of what the ideal human being looks like, according to what we've been taught. So when you move from that backwards, I'm a man, so I benefit from patriarchy. I understand English, which is one of the most spoken languages in the world, so I can connect with the Americans, some Europeans, other people. As much as I'm black, as far as I'm black and not white, as far as black men are concerned, I'm considered good looking, according to people. So that's like, I didn't do that. I was born into, it's a privilege I didn't work for. School came to me easily. I was a top student from like creche. So the things that other kids struggle with, I didn't.
Okay.
And then sports came easily to me. Singing came easily to me. So for a lot of the things that society defined as, oh, I wish I was athletic, I wish I was good looking, I ticked a lot of those boxes. So I didn't have a reason to have low self-esteem.
Okay.
But what that does for a person like me, and I guess what we call pretty girls, the yellow bones, and it makes you fragile to failure. So a lot of those people, when the first time the girl gets a pimple, she loses her mind.
Yeah.
The first time the child who's always gotten A's fails, gets to varsity, they're like, sorry, you failed. You're like, no, I can't fail.
Yeah.
I'm a brilliant A student.
Yes.
Their minds crash. The day you get into another space and someone's like, oh, you're black. And you're like, excuse me. Everywhere where I go, I'm like the most beautiful black girl.
Yeah.
No, we're actually looking for a white girl.
Yeah.
Or you're like, no. So one of the things is I went into business and I've never been trained on business. It was a foreign space for me and I failed. It was the first time in my life like I had a major failure. Not only did I fail myself, I failed investors, people that had given me money, who believed in me because I was a top student, because I spoke well. They were like, those guys want to make us money, and I failed. And that failure, I'd read books, I'd spoken to people, I'd seen the interviews, I was never ready. And it led to depression.
Okay.
Another one was relationships. This becomes relatable.
Yeah.
I'm a relationships as Nisa. Properly, we see flames. I've been depressed, I'll call it 2.5 times from relationships. The half is because I think I bounced back quickly. The 2, it would take me years, 3-4 years to bounce back, where when someone breaks your heart, that glow you spoke about, it goes because you don't feel beautiful. You're like, maybe I'm not what I thought I was. Like they break your confidence. Even in other things that you are maybe good at, you start doubting yourself. Where I am lucky, because you asked about low self-esteem. So I gave just 2 examples. I've had others. You don't make a certain sports team. You don't get certain marks you're looking for. You don't get a girl you sort of like. But for me, I have to be honest. My life has been, I can't swear. Sorry.
You can.
My life has been freaking amazing. So I don't take my privileges for granted. And the things I complain about are mild. Boo, you failed in business. Not that you were addicted to drugs, not that you lost your parents, not that someone violated you, raped you, not that you were kidnapped, not that you couldn't get food. You didn't know where you were going to get a meal. Like, I understand people have real problems. So mine are like first world.
Okay.
But those have been my low self-esteem moments. But because I've been blessed with a brain, I've seen my mom struggle, which is like one of my superpowers. Watching her struggle and overcome, for me, it becomes watching black people in South Africa struggle and overcome, watching Mandela go to prison, of which, look, we call him a sellout now and then when we're angry. But if you try and think of this guy sacrificing his family and his life and livelihood and overcoming, you're like, if they could do it, come on.
Yeah.
What's business failure? What's failing a year at varsity? What's having my heart broken? And I am highly confident, leaning on arrogant. I truly believe I'm one of the greatest human beings ever created. And because of that, my bounce back is always amazing and spectacular. You're a Christian.
Yes.
Your biggest story is the story of Jesus. If a guy could still preach love, peace, doing good unto others, and be attacked, and have a friend stab him in the back, and have a friend deny him, and be willing to be sacrificed for all mankind, and then bounce back and resurrect, and still have a good heart. If that doesn't inspire you, then you're not serious about life.
Of course, yeah.
So my resilience comes from watching other people overcome. It's listening to you and watching you, where your confidence, there are girls that we call pretty, tall, light skin, nice booty. They don't have what you have. And it's crazy because what you have is actually the real juice. The physical is, a lot of us, like I said, we didn't earn it. Unless if you maybe had plastic surgery.
Of course,
Not PPL.
Yes.
If you didn't manufacture yourself and it was given to you, that's not yours. And you're like, I will actually, when the pretty girl is busy laughing and giggling because all the boys want her, I will push. And when crunch time comes and the real world is like, okay, what do you have to offer? She will see flames because that's all she has. I have so much more. So people like you, I almost envy the power you have.
Sure.
Kind of situation. So that helps me bounce back. Yeah.
I loved what you said when you said that you bounce back more quicker, and you mentioned business, and you mentioned, for example, I failed one of my majors, my first year varsity, and that really knocked me down because I've always been the smart, like person, A+ student. Yes, honey, And then I got to varsity and I failed one of my biggest majors, like varsity. And that really knocked me down, like you were saying. It really knocked me down. The only thing that got me up was you have to live your purpose. And you are here with a bursary, so you need to make this work. So where did that resilience for you come from? Where you failed, in your first business and that crashed, and you were like, you know what? I'm still the greatest person on earth.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, that can get them to suicide.
True.
It can get them to mental health struggles, like really, really deep things. How was it for you to still say, I'm still the greatest?
You must try in life to not have one superpower. If your superpower is, I'm an A student.
I'm an A student, yes.
That's all you have?
Yeah. You are in big trouble.
Yeah, the day you don't get a good mark, you're gonna break.
Yeah.
So try and accumulate superpowers. A student, pick up some weights, run a bit, have a decent body. Befriend people. Okay, when I don't have A's, at least my friends and I get along.
Yeah.
It could be some of your friends, your family members. Learn how to read, learn how to speak.
Yeah.
So I've got a big bag of like superpowers. So business was just one of the things I was doing in my life.
Okay.
You were asking where I get the resilience, the bouncing back. So I had investors, I owed them R1 million. And I had mentors. I'd read all the business books about failure, and failure always sounds glamorous when you read it.
Yeah.
I failed, I had 5 business failures, and then on my 6th, I succeeded. People don't actually know what that means. Like, you were 11 months.
Yeah.
Let's maybe say you were 12 years old or 11 years old. Guys, I was 11 and I burnt. And then after, it's like, oh, she burnt. And then you're like, guys, I burnt. I need to explain to you, like, the pain of burning and the surgery. And I had to look at myself and I had to worry. And then I'd see other kids, like, I know it's a story now, and I just said it quickly, but I need to explain that it's a really deep thing.
Yeah.
When I failed and they repossessed my car and the woman I was with left me, like, it's not just my business failed. And then, so I'd read the books, but I'd never experienced. I went to my mentors, because luckily I had mentors. 2 of them. The one is a dollar billionaire. The other one, I think, is a multimillionaire. They've built amazing businesses. I went to them. I'm like, oh, I'm so stressed. What's wrong? Both of them almost gave me the exact same answer. When I told them my business failed, I owe investors money, they asked, how much do you owe? I said R1 million, and they laughed. They laughed.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, welcome to the game.
Yeah.
They're like, come back when you owe people 10 million.
Sure.
100 million. So they gave me perspective that, look, this is just one of those things. I failed my major in first year. I don't know what to do. I might lose my bursary.
Yeah.
And you meet someone who's a PhD.
Yeah.
What's it called? PhD student.
Yes,
They're
PhD.
busy.
Yeah.
They're busy with their thesis. They'll be like, okay, you failed your major and?
Yeah.
No, like, I'm stressed. You're like, and? You're going to eat today? Of course. You know you're going to stay? Of course. Your parents still? Duh. Then you're fine.
Yes.
You'll study it again and then you'll... But you know, but guys, it's like, this is life. Welcome to the real world.
Sure, I love
So you spend enough time with people that tell you their stories of adversity and how they overcame them. When you're dealing with adversity, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, a car accident, I've just been hit and I'm like, you know what? If you can, a lot of people have been in car accidents. So let me just breathe. I will get through this. I'm still alive. I think the person in the other car is still alive. Let me see if they're okay. How are you so calm?
Yeah.
Why are you like, because I'm telling myself a lot of people have been through this, so I know we will get through it. I might end up on a wheelchair. The other person might have to go to ICU, but we will get through. And if they die, they will die. And it will be tough, but I will work through the process. And that's all it is, training yourself. And the cheat is just spending time with people like that. Spending time with you, I ask you all the questions. How does it feel? Do people not tease you? And I start building this empathy to put myself in your shoes so that if ever anything happens to me, Penuel, you've just been burnt, what happened? And I'm like, I have to go and sit with Itu and be like, Itu, fuck, I've been burnt, look at me.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, welcome to the club, girl. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, okay, let's go. What do I do now?
Yeah.
You know, and you just build yourself from there because people have gone through like I said, my problems are first world. People have gone through like
real problems, yeah.
So you try and find those people I try to find those people before. People that have been in jail, because I've never been in jail, like, Donna, what happened? Were you not scared?
Yeah.
And then you just train your mind to become strong. So that if ever it happens, you're like, okay, number when I get in jail. I remember Donna said, I need to have some money. These are the people I must. So it becomes easier for me to get through those things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I love that. Can you discuss any practice or rather a technique that you use to manage negative thoughts or emotions?
Negative thoughts. Maybe negative thoughts. Twitter in South Africa has become one of the most violent, toxic spaces in the country. It's funny. Twitter is bad because of people that say horrible things. And if you zoom into those people, you realize a lot of them are sad and miserable.
Yeah.
And instead of them picking themselves up, they think it's better to pull other people down. Such a tragic psychology.
Yeah.
So I've been dragged a lot of times on Twitter for a lot of the things I stand for, a lot of the things I've done, some of the things I've said about my children, etc. Like I said, try and create like a bunch of superpowers. And whenever you see negative things, try and recall them. I guess you'd call them count your blessings, you know. Yeah, Penuel, if you, blah, blah, blah. You're like, my mom loves me. But people like you are sellouts and what. You're like, sellouts. And I'm like, oh, I actually do a lot of charity work with a lot of Black people who know the work we do.
Yeah.
This person probably does nothing.
Exactly.
So I try to think of positive thoughts. I count my blessings. I look at my privileges, and then I think of all the work I need to do.
Sure.
And then, like I said, role models. At the core, as a Christian, Jesus. If you're a Muslim, Muhammad.
Yeah.
If you are a South African, people like Nelson Mandela. If you're a woman, people like Oprah. There are so many role models. If there's one thing we're not short of in this world, it's role models. There are so many role models that have gone through certain things.
Yes.
I am not in jail yet, Andrew Tate.
Hopefully not.
No one is trying to kill me. I haven't lost my children. I've never been seriously violated. I've never lost a lot of money. I have not gone through like really bad things, but there are people that have and that have managed to get through that. So you compare Donald Trump to Hitler. When Donald Trump became president of America, he pulled back a lot of the troops from the Middle East. He pulled them back. He said, come home. Barack Obama and George Bush George Bush initially, Barack sent more troops to go and be killed, to go and kill so many innocent people in the Middle East. No one called them dictators, terrorists, crimes against humanity. Donald Trump didn't kill anyone. He didn't send soldiers. Adolf Hitler gassed and killed arguably millions of Jewish people.
Sure.
Donald Trump didn't kill anyone. And now you want to compare, I'm like, if you're going to compare me to, Black people like you during apartheid, I'm like, bro, the amount of work I do for my family, for the communities, compared to you with your 3 followers on Twitter, you're miserable, you're probably unemployed, you're broke, your life is sad, you do nothing for society, but you want to attack me. Do you know there are people out there, some of them that you are voting for, some of them that whose businesses you support, some of them that you think are your favorite celebrities, those are the people that are actually destroying the nation.
Yeah.
But you want to use me as an example. It's wild. But again, we keep speaking truth to power because some people are listening. Some people actually realize this guy is actually right. And then we try to at least liberate the minds.
Sure.
So that people can be better human beings. Yeah.
Sure. I love what you said about Trump. And I'm not one of his biggest fans, but
Really?
I do love certain things about him. And I think this goes back to like what we were saying, in the beginning, that when you live your truth, that 1% will always try and like ruin you. Because why? Why are you living your truth? Why are you showing people that they need to live their truths? And they will always come for you.
Of course.
It's so sad.
You will be crucified like JC.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately the nature of the game.
Yeah.
I think you need to appreciate it. It's a reverse compliment. When you start speaking out like, oh, who's this chick? How dare she?
Yeah.
You must be like, oh snap. This is what Jesus was going through.
Yeah.
It's like a reverse compliment of they are seeing me. I am ruffling feathers. I'm making their minds uncomfortable. And I realize it's because they're scared I'm going to rescue some people from the matrix.
Yeah.
What that tells me is I need to go harder. I need to get louder.
Yeah.
I need to do more. So, yeah.
Sure. And what does purpose mean to you?
Purpose. I heard a definition of legacy today. Legacy is making an impact on society and to humanity that outlives you. That's what legacy means. So when a person is chasing a legacy, they are chasing making an impact that outlives them. At the lowest level, legacy is having children. Because it's an impact on society that will outlive you.
That will outlive you.
Yeah. But then other people do other things. They want to build businesses. They want to put their names on an institution, etc. Purpose, which is meant to be the question of why are we here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to be doing? Which is one of the biggest questions that human beings have. I've grappled with that question for a big chunk of my life. And because we're brought into this world where the system, the people that run the system dictate to you what your purpose is meant to be, you then go along with it. You're an A student. Go and represent the young black girl. Yes, I will do.
Yes.
You didn't choose that.
Yeah.
We're like, no, man, I want to rap. I want to actually, I want to run Switzerland. No, we need you to represent a young black girl. I didn't ask for it. So a lot of us chase these purposes, this reason for existing that is not our own. Pen, you're black. Your purpose is to serve the black name. I'm like, says who?
Yeah.
What if I must serve humanity? What if I must serve women? What if I must serve white women? No, you can't do that. You must. Like, you're not going to dictate that to me. Religious people obviously feel like they get their purpose from above.
Yeah.
Some from inside. Do go down to the world, be an ambassador for Christ, for Islam and Allah, for Buddha, whatever the case may be. In grappling with that question, the answer I came to is, which is my answer today, it may change. There is no purpose on earth. The purpose on earth and in life is to be, which is not good enough.
Whoa.
You're born, you die, and then you must just kind of keep yourself busy in here. I do feel a sense of responsibility to keep humanity alive. So for that, I believe one of the many purposes is to make children. To be like, look, people made me, so the least I can do is pass it on. It's like someone fed me, so let me feed someone else. So that becomes like a mini purpose, like breed, sow your seeds onto the world. But essentially it's exist, be, try and have a good time, whatever that means. Having a good time, it's I want to do charity work, I want to create jobs, I want to travel the world, I want to inspire a lot of people. If that's a good time to you, so it's almost like what you're asking about truth, and I was saying it's peace. happiness is not a destination, it is a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey.
So it is like, am I on the right path? Once you're on the highway and the road is great, like, okay, I think this is it. Yeah. It's not like, have you arrived? So purpose is linked to happiness. Are you on the right path? And you can feel it.
Yes.
You wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Like your alarm's meant to go off at 6 and it's 5. Do I really need to wait till I go to work? Yeah. Like, no, I'll get to work earlier. Yes. That's when people are like, you're living your purpose. Yeah. It's like, I am on the right path because the process, and this is also very important, the process and not the destination is the most important thing. You want to be Beyonce, you want to be Oprah. I hope one day you become as big as Oprah.
Oprah wants to be me, darling.
Oh. You want to be Beyonce, you want to be Oprah. What we see is less than 5% when you see Oprah. Oh, brand new Oprah today, our guest.
Yeah.
Beyonce on stage, dancing, singing. That is less than 5% of their life. And if you want that, that is not their life.
Yes, that's not
that. That is just like a highlights package, highlights reel. You need to be in love with the 95% of what they actually do.
Yeah.
Waking up,
yeah,
going to gym, going to choreography, getting it wrong, doing it over and over. Someone messed it up. Going to voice rehearsals, learning the new song. How do I sing it? Do I go, learning the song, recording it over and over. Going for interviews, being on the road. We're waiting for our flights. Our visas have been approved. Oprah sits with her research team. Who are we doing today? Okay, with this guy, and he comes from, okay, please update me. And okay, so you say she's from Sri Lanka, and okay. And what else did you tell me? Oh, okay, no, okay, it's fine. And getting the wardrobe, getting the makeup, getting on set, being nervous, speaking to the crowd. You sit with the guest, which is then what the people see.
Yeah.
And then afterwards you have to debrief. Yes. And then you're meeting some of the audience. Then you have to go home and cook.
Yeah.
Or you have to make sure the kids are fed.
Yeah.
Your husband is annoying you. Bastard, he forgot the what. Parents' evening. All of that. You must love that.
Yeah.
Then you become Beyonce.
Then you're living your purpose.
Then you are living, the purpose is here. What the people see, it's like, oh, this is for you.
Yeah.
I'm here with the, I can't wait to get to rehearsal. What are the dance moves today? I know I was messing them up yesterday, but give them to me 1, 2. This is the stuff that gets me excited.
Yeah.
But if I'm not enjoying this, that's why a lot of people don't last long.
Yeah.
In entertainment, in politics, because they're like, don't know if I'm in parliament, I need to read this thing.
Yes.
I have to be in these meetings. I want to, point of order.
Exactly.
No, he's lying.
Yes.
What? You're like, that's not it. It's this boring stuff. And if you're not in love with the boring stuff, brushing your teeth, making sure the kids they've got an ear infection, antibiotics, you're like, I'm so excited. I know which antibiotics we want to get. I'm going to speak to the doctor. I've dealt with this before. This is, like, you look like you're really enjoying, like, I am being.
Sure.
I'm a human being, and I'm being in this world, and I'm enjoying all of it.
Sure.
And for me, I think that's what purpose is. But there are subcategories. Having children, making an impact on other people. And when you've been given a gift of a voice, of an appearance, it's like, here's your gift.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
You will now, I'm sorry you don't look like other girls. Shame, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
You now have to go and speak.
Exactly.
You are meant to go and free girls that may look like you. But what's wild is on the way, you are going to free the other girls. And they want to be crying. You're like, fuck, I'm not even here for you. You're like, you're actually here for me. I thought I was pretty.
Yeah.
I thought I was beautiful. And you've just changed it.
Yeah.
So thank you. And you thought you were here for someone else, but you're actually here for me. So you're like, dope, having a good time on this planet. So I think that's what purpose means to me.
Oh, I love that. Going back to children, so you've got 6, right? With various women. Do you have commitment problems And where does that come from?
Jesus, deep question.
Does it come from you not having a father yourself? Does that come from your first heartbreak where you were just like, I just want to have these beautiful beings, and that's it? Like,
it's a deep question, and it's a very layered question. I'm going to try and answer it as short as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother raised us single-handedly from a financial perspective and largely from a physical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But my father was there.
Mm-hmm.
We'd see him every weekend, every other weekend. He'd come visit the house and sleep over. From an impact perspective, my father arguably was more impactful than my mom. It's one of those things of your mom shouts the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Itu, no, come wash the dishes, and blah, blah, blah. Why is it like this? Yeah, mama. Yes, did you do your homework?
Mm-hmm.
And then your father comes in, he's like, I'm really proud of you. Mm. You're an amazing, beautiful girl. Go shine. Sure. And it's like, in the whole day, if you were to measure the impact, you're like, I think the impact was almost the same, even though my father said one sentence. Mm-hmm. So my father's impact in my life was very big.
Mm.
I do think, let me start here. The concept of commitment, there is in the animal kingdom and human beings. Mm-hmm. In the animal kingdom, it's relatively straightforward. With domestic animals, human beings have kind of messed them up. Mm. I say this because you take a bull, you put them into a kraal, and they must sleep with the cows without choosing. We kind of force them.
Yes.
Quite wild.
Yeah.
With the wild animals, they kind of choose each other, and a lot of them are not monogamous. A lot of the male species animals, but some are. So animals have their own version of commitment. Human beings have now defined commitment. And in the past, as Africans, we would have space for like polygamy. And the Muslims have space for polygamy up to 4 wives. But we've kind of defined it. And when you ask a question, why do you have commitment problems, etc., it's within that framework. And I need to answer it within that framework. Because there's like philosophical discussions of what is commitment, should we commit, is monogamy natural?
Yeah.
I would like to think that the reason I struggle with standard commitment is genetic and circumstantial.
Okay.
The genetic being my father was married to my mom, but he wasn't committed in this beautiful picturesque. And he had a lot of different women over my life. Mm-hmm. So there's a chance that I inherited that gene, if we call it a gene, or that behavior. It could be that I was conditioned through seeing him to be like, okay, maybe this is what a man does.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think I was exposed to a whole lot of amazing men who mastered this commitment thing. Perfect husbands, perfect fathers, always at home, etc. So I can't use that excuse as if I've never seen it. I have seen it, including my father's brothers. Then there's a circumstantial, which is what you're asking. Is it because of heartbreak? And the short answer is no. It's definitely not heartbreak. It is because, number one, I think having children is more important than committing to a woman.
Okay.
This one is tough for people. I think legacy. I think leaving children is more important than leaving a story of me and Itu was so loving. So I would rather, that becomes a higher priority for me. And I want to have a lot of children. And I understand that women have got their own ambitions and dreams. I cannot, like our mothers and grandmothers, want to give you 10, 15. When do you get to have your career and your life? And so I almost always knew I was going to have children with different moms. I didn't know how. People would be like, become a polygamist. With the type of women that I have been attracted to, they are not built, conditioned for polygamy, and it would be wrong of me to force them into a space they didn't want. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm wife number 3. I want to live my life. And if you bring this polygamy thing as an offer, no thanks. I'd rather not have that. Because I hear people say, why don't you just marry them? I'm like, do you realize how disrespectful that is to those women? You're almost speaking like these children that I'll be like, okay, Ozanla, I'm going to marry all of you. These are strong, outspoken, independent women that make their own money, have their own dreams. Yes, they chose to come and have children with me, but they are their own people. I can't just, hey, come marry me. If I wanted polygamy, it would have to be a discussion with each of them. And currently, all of them are not into polygamy. They would be like, no, if you want to marry me, we can talk about it. But I'm not going to let you marry us. I don't want that for my life. And I'm like, I can respect that. I have always told myself that I do not leave women. So I could argue, which is like a form of manipulation. I could argue that I don't leave women and I commit. I will be with you. We will have children. And if ever we split, it's going to be because you leave. But then women will come and say, but your behavior, bro. Yes, you were with her. Yes, you committed. But then you went and got another woman. Or you went and had another child. She can't stay for that. And I'm like, I understand. That's on me. But I never left her. So I am not scared of being with a woman. I'm not scared of being committed to a woman for life. I just have these other priorities which other women refuse to stand for. They're like, no thanks. Can have the kids, we can co-parent. But if there's another woman and whatever, good. Yeah. And I'm like, I can respect that. But the question you're asking me is something I grapple with on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis, because I need to try and curate an ideal life for myself, and I haven't found it. Okay. And I am being, and I am existing, and I am making beautiful children, but I cannot give a definitive answer so that I can tell the world, guys, I'm a polygamist. I want to have 20 wives. I want to be like King Solomon the wise. I am also trying to just figure this human experience out. And this is how it's manifesting now. But why I struggle with commitment is because of those things. I prioritize children, and I've accepted I will have children with different women, and the women that I am attracted to are not the women that would submit to just committing to me however I live. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about your cult, or rather this religion.
Belief system.
Yeah.
Is a more politically correct word.
That you're trying to establish. Yeah. Right. I mean, you even refer to yourself, as like a god and everything. Do you think that your superpowers that you were mentioning now makes you a super being, and therefore people can then follow you, and they can follow your like wisdom and counsel and spirituality? And with that same breath, what does spirituality mean to you?
Oh no, 100%. Now you asked about spirituality. I was going to be like 100%. Next question. Yes, because I'm a super being. What is spirituality? There's a very complicated way that I view the world currently, which would take a long time to explain. So I'll try and answer it shortly like this. The belief systems that we have currently, we have been taught by other human beings, and they were taught by other human beings. And some of those belief systems have been transcribed into scripture, to books, into history books, etc. Whether it is a cultural belief, a religious belief, or something else. So my understanding of belief systems is that they have a human origin. And a lot of them are very old, like history, it's old. Yeah. And I do not see a reason why I cannot be one of the human beings to create a belief system like humans before. Other people say, no, it's not human, it's something else. And I'm like, but you heard it from a human. You heard it from your parents, and they heard it from a pastor, and they heard it from their grandparents. Like, for me, they are human told stories and belief systems. Even when people convert Islam to Christianity, Buddhism to Judaism, it is because a human being pushed for that in some way. So I don't see a reason why I can't do that. And it's something that I'm enjoying doing. Penuelism is 4 years old. I'd like to think my principles are good. They want people to thrive and be happy beings, peaceful beings in the world. And it is because I have a superpower, which is, I think, my brain, and then my voice. My brain, because I think of these crazy ideas. My voice, because I can take the crazy ideas, process them into some articulated concept, and then share them with the world and influence some people. In the same way, I think there are people that influenced others to be Christian, to be Buddhist, to be Hindu, whatever the case may be. So to answer your question, it's just that I believe my superpower is myself. I am the center of my universe. I wish other people could have themselves as the center of their universes, so that they could also see the gods in themselves. And I'm hoping to exemplify what it means to take back your power from a pastor, from a church, from a government, from even your parents, and be like, I am the core. That's why I don't even like the concept of an external God. I like the concept of an internal God. Whatever your God is, like, if inside me, whatever Umfundis is saying is not resonating,
it's not resonating.
the God in me is saying, no.
Yeah.
I will not be validated by you, human.
Yeah.
There is God in me.
Yeah.
And until you speak to the God in me and I connect to the God in you, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying.
I got you.
So I just want people to take their power back more than anything. On the concept of spirituality, because it's a very complicated word, someone has once defined that spirituality is nature. Religion is organized doctrine, organized belief. There's a book, there's a church.
Yeah.
If you ask questions, there are answers. It's like studying at school.
Yeah.
Spirituality is nature. It is the sun will rise. We have water. We breathe. We are humans. There are animals we eat. And that is spirituality. It is the being of everything.
What are the failures that you cherish the most and why?
Failures. I don't fail. What are the failures I cherish the most? This is tricky. I don't think I've had major failures. Let me try to answer it like this. I decided to become a loan shark at some point.
Okay.
And at the time I'd just gotten money. I'd loaned out 250,000. I was about to open a fish and chip shop called Penuel's Fish and Chips, close to Gandhi Square, near Elof. Yeah, on Elof in the Joburg CBD. And it was going to take another 9 months or so for my shop to open. So I had this money sitting in my account and I wanted to play around with it. So perchance, we were still using Blackberries at that time.
Yes.
So I sent out a BBM broadcast and I told people, if you're looking for a loan, hit me up. The responses I got.
Of course.
That was back in 2011. I officially stopped loaning out money 2023. That's 12 years. 12 years of being umashonisa, being a loan shark. That is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And I'm saying this because my business crashed because of the loans business.
Yes, exactly.
People have owed me over 700,000. People have run away with my money. I've invested in small businesses and they collapsed. I've had people tell me on the phone, hey, brah, you're never getting your money back. Just forget about it. I'm like, this month, what? What that did, that 12 years and the loans business, even though I failed and I lost money for investors, I learned human psychology. How people come to you when they want something, how people act when they owe you and they're running around, how people act when they kind of over you, how people act when you owe them something, when they become desperate and I met a lot of really cool people. But that was my school fees and my training for human psychology.
Sure.
Nothing surprises me anymore. There is no millionaire, billionaire that I can meet where if someone tells me they broke, I'm shocked. I'm like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I know some of the top celebrities. I used to loan money to some celebrities that people thought were rich and that borrow money, and I'd pay for Ubers for blessers because the guy's transporting a girl somewhere. So he's like, my man, just pay for this thing. I'm like, sure. People would go out, party with people. I'd send money for that. People would call me crying. I'm struggling. My daughter, the school fees, she needs formula. You know, and you have a good heart and you send them money. When you have to collect, come on, man.
Yeah.
Really, why are you stressing me? You keep calling. I'm like, this was the guy that was crying.
Yeah.
You know, so I learned human psychology, desperation, how people act, and it's made me incredibly strong, and I'm not surprised by anything anymore.
Sure.
There was a guy, I don't know if he's a gay guy, there was a guy who was like, can I pay you in another way? I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I need you to, like, we can be intimate. I laughed. I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, bro, you can do anything you want to me. I'm like, I don't understand. He's like, my body is yours. So I was like, okay. I had girls offer me that as well, but I don't have money, but maybe we can make a plan. I don't know, maybe we can hook up. Hook up! I'm like, no, but I'm using my money. But Yeah, man. I learned a lot about human beings, and if there's a failure, I guess it's my business failure. But it's picking up, because you asked about the lessons.
Yeah.
It's starting out as a loan shark. I learned a lot about human beings, and at all levels. I know I mentioned celebrities, politicians, top politicians, some top business people that are on the covers of magazines. Like, Ben, can you please try me out to 20,000, my staff? So I learned a lot about human beings through that. So I cherish that experience very much.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love that. Ooh, I've got a second last question, and the last one is the one that you wanted to find out from me.
Sure.
But this last question is, are you truly happy as Penuel?
I am so happy. I hate the fact that one day I might have to die. I read maybe 15, 20 years ago an article that was saying that Google, which is my favorite company on the planet, and it's also the company that violates privacy the worst.
Yeah.
That they are working on a project to allow people to live forever. I would love to live forever. The human experience is one of the greatest things on the planet. Mm-hmm. I am incredibly privileged. I think if I was given another 200 years, I think I could conquer the world and build a huge empire.
Sure.
So that makes me very excited.
Yeah.
The human beings I meet, from the richest to the poorest, from the most famous to the unknown, from weirdos and nerds to dynamic people. Yeah. Being on Earth, man, is one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And when I hear what people have gone through, when I read history, when we forecast the future, I'm like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I think we're just also privileged because we're in a dynamic time now where literally you can do anything you want. Yes. You can go to China and run China.
Yeah.
No, you can't. She's like,
yes, you
bro,
can.
If she has the will and the desire and the push, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It is just you. It is your mental limitations.
Yeah.
So I am incredibly happy.
Sure.
My children are amazing. I don't understand why my kids are so amazing. I don't understand why I meet such cool people. Like, you inviting me here, I'm like, really? Me? People don't know there's food on the table, everyone to eat afterwards, and I'm meeting talented guys, and we're in a beautiful space.
Sure.
I'm like, it's not fair. It is not fair. I'm incredibly happy, but I don't take it for granted because I know it can change and it can leave. I visit townships and squatter camps a lot, and I spend time with a lot of people who are going through depression, suicidal, who are very poor, to gain that perspective. Because I only realize we're all 1 to 3 decisions away from drug addiction, poverty, someone violating you, the country collapsing, us going into civil war, becoming an illegal immigrant. We could become illegal immigrants.
Yes.
South Africa crashes and now we're begging other countries to take us, become refugees.
Yeah.
So I don't take any of what we have for granted, but I am so happy. I've been able to, my mom has an Arab Indian Muslim father. Mm-hmm. Her mom is Black Zulu woman. Watching her go from a space where they used to fetch firewood and water, climb mountains, to school. She was ridiculed for being a mixed race child. She was treated some type of way even by some of her family members. And then she met this maverick called my dad, Mansula. And she moved from that place to become a school teacher. And my father abused her physically and I think psychologically to some degree as well.
Sure.
And her going through that and working as a school teacher, walking every day, getting herself a little bond and moving us to the suburbs and sending her 3 kids to these Model C schools. And then from there, getting an even better house in the suburbs with a little teacher's salary, becoming a deputy principal when she was no longer scared that my dad would have issues with her, moving up to a point where she got to see her grandchildren, experience them. She, through me and my siblings, has been to top restaurants. I moved her to Johannesburg. She's flown on flights. We're going overseas, God willing, and all willing. We're going overseas soon, so it's going to be the first time she's going abroad.
Nice.
And I'm watching her go through all of these phases, and I'm like, I almost envy her. I wish I could have had that, because I came in here in the township.
Yeah, in the township.
It was already cool times, but seeing her live this experience to the pinnacles where she's meeting some of the wealthiest South Africans, some of the most famous people, and she still is in awe, and I'm watching her enjoy that, and watching people see her and like, oh, Mom, see, we're so privileged to meet you. And she's like, I'm this little colored Indian woman with curly hair, Zulu, but thank you. And I'm like, this is beautiful. And I wish I could, one of my wishes, besides getting people to start growing their own food and get into practical education, is trying to get as many people as possible to like get on an airplane, travel to a foreign country. Because those acts, like, they blow your mind, literally. And when you come back, you're never the same. So I wish I could show you how happy I am. Izzy Adesanya, is it Adesanya? He's a cage fighter, UFC, I think. I think Israel Adesanya. I'm sorry about his surname. I think he's British, but it's from African heritage. He won some fight. And if people maybe go on the internet and search Israel, Izzy, I don't know if it's Adesanya's surname. He just won this fight, some championship fight. And he asked Joe Rogan, who was the commentator, if he could please speak to the camera. And he spoke about, guys, there's nothing in life that should ever stop you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, if you guys could feel at least once in your life the happiness that I'm feeling right now, that's all I ever wish for you. And this happiness that I'm feeling, I feel it every single day. And all I wish for you is to feel it just for one day. What I'm feeling right now. Like goosebumps. Like, you're like, I want that. For everyone. I'm like getting emotional. Let me tell two stories. Not about load shedding. There's these videos that I've stumbled upon on YouTube where it's the first time a parent or a child is getting the official letter that they're being adopted, and it's been official. And you watch like there's this big white man in America who is adopting this little black girl. And you see when the letter comes in, and there's this little black girl who's been adopted by this white family, and they're showing her this thing, and she's like, is this really happening? You really want to be my parents? You know? There have been moments in my life where you stand in a queue and you see like Coco at a ShopRite. I'm there to fetch an energy drink, wine, whatever. She's there and you can see she's with a little child, probably her grandchild. She's getting formula, or she's getting knickknacks, or she's buying, you can see like the tray of meat she bought, it's mince, 15 Rand. Like it's and you're like, and you take out like 200 Rand, and you're like, Mama, just for you to pay. That's something we can do, the privilege we have. It's a good act, whatever. The thing is, like, when you look at her face, when you look at the faces of some of these people, when you do stuff like that, I don't know if you call it happiness or purpose or whatever, but it's almost like traveling overseas. You're like, human beings deserve to make an impact and to have that level of happiness and whatever it is. You said I'm allowed to swear?
Yes, yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry for being a little bitch for the last few seconds. Still a thug. Thug life. I'm not slipping. I'm not fucking slipping. Sorry, but those things are quite important for me. So I'm very happy, and I wish I could light the candles of so many people. And a lot of it, like beauty, a lot of it is just getting people to redefining their minds. Their privilege and because when you're a child, you don't know what poverty is. You don't know that you're poor until someone tells you, oh my gosh, you're so poor.
Yes, you're so poor.
How do you feel when you look like that? You're like, how do I look?
What do you mean?
Fuck, actually, there's something wrong with me. And then like, you're miserable. And I'm like, I want to give you back your power and your light. You're like, actually, I'm fucking pretty. Are you mad?
Yeah.
So I'm very happy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So you asked me a question. Are we meant to strip ourselves of everything, hair, etc., the way that I've got my hair up? and also, at which point do we draw the line? Basically, are we supposed to be naked, right? Going back to that beauty question. And my response rather is no, but put on that beautiful dress when you already know who you are.
Okay.
Because the beautiful dress does not define you.
Okay.
And that is why you will see the most beautiful women wearing the most beautiful dress. But those, self-esteems, lower self-esteems, they will still pop up now and again, right? No matter how she looks like, no matter how she's dressed, no matter what may be perceived as the most beautiful, because you yourself don't feel beautiful. Yeah. And the moment you feel beautiful and you know that you are beautiful, then that dress does not define you.
Sure. It just complements what you are.
Exactly. So that goes with hair, that goes with makeup, that goes with lipstick, that goes with your clothes, that goes with how you want people to see you, right? You need to know yourself first. You need to be assertive of your own power, strength, beauty, of your own being first. And then these things, sort of like there to just like...
That's beautiful.
Compliment you.
One of the things colonizers took away from African people is identity.
Yeah.
It's difficult to know who you are and to have strength in self when you don't know who you are and where you come from. One of the things that scares people about the things I say is how comfortable I am around, let's call it whiteness, maybe white supremacy.
Yeah.
How comfortable I am to shift and say I'm no longer Zulu. What is blackness? Maybe I don't define as black. It scares them and they don't realize that the reason they are scared is because their sense of being was taken away. And because they are so scared and insecure, they want to hold on.
Yes, they want to hold on,
So you take off your makeup.
Yeah.
It's like, no, what do you mean?
Yes.
Like, no, you don't have to wear earrings. Yes. Like, no, as a woman, I have to wear earrings.
Yeah.
You're misleading other girls. Girls wear makeup, get your earrings. That's what a woman is. And you're like, you don't have to. It's okay.
Yes, you don't have to.
It's a safe space. Like, why do you speak English? Why are you hanging out with these people? You're like, guys, the reason that guy is so comfortable is because he knows who he is.
Yes.
And I think the challenge for me, the exercise of asking yourself, who am I?
Sure.
What makes me beautiful? What makes me strong?
Yeah.
Is it just physical appearance, of which it is? That's one thing.
Yeah, it's one thing.
Please give us your other superpowers.
Yeah.
Because if we strip this away from you, you're naked.
Then you're naked.
Get others. Go and study your history. And by your history, I'm not talking books. I'm talking, go speak to your parents. Go speak to your grandparents. Once you can say, I am Penuel Mlotshwa, ingane yazwelakhe Phineas Mlotshwa, waseMpopomeni, uDansile Alina Amin, wasekuvukeni, abazalwa oMsongelwa, abazalwa oChota, oMamlaba, oMamnyaka.
Yeah.
There's strength in go do that, because you don't have makeup.
Yeah.
You can go out bold because like, I know who I am. I don't need the external validation.
Exactly.
That's my whole thing with the whole God concept.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, I'm waiting for God to... No, but you're like, God is here.
Yeah.
The reason you are waiting is you're waiting for yourself to find yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
But thank you for that answer.
Sure. I need one sentence responses to this. What is your perspective on freedom? One sentence.
Freedom is having some type of control over your time more than anything.
Okay.
More than anything. If you have some kind of control over your time, you get to decide, I think you're free.
Sure. What is your perspective on power?
Power is the ability, I'll give you my specific, there's actually a pronoun. The ability to use one of the greatest magic tricks on earth, which is language, to convince other people to do whatever it is you want them to do.
Sure.
And they feel like it is their choice to do that. That is power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your perspective on spirituality?
Someone defines spirituality as nature. And many religious people believe God created nature. There's an amazing movie called Mother, with directed by Darren Aronofsky, who also did Black Swan, which is this grappling concept. Javier Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence, God, religion versus nature. Spirituality to me is nature. It is the manifestation, if you are religious, of God in the trees, in the sun. We used to worship the sun, in the water, in a woman giving birth. Because you say God is in action, God is in love. It's in nature. So I would argue that spirituality, because a lot of people have got funny answers when you ask them, spirituality is nature. Manifestation.
Sure. I love that. Oh, Penuel, we have come to the end of the show.
No. I know. 10 more minutes. Okay, it's my arm.
I'd like you to please take this mirror over here. And then I'd like you to please look at yourself in the mirror and tell me, what do you see when you look at yourself in the mirror?
What I see here is the collaboration of many, many generations of human beings and human civilization across races, nationalities, tribes, religious beliefs that have combined to spark and create the magnificence that I am. I am literally like the greatest version of human being because of the collaboration of people before me, not just my parents and my lineage, but everyone. And I want to manifest that. Like, people grapple around the concept of what Jesus looked like, whether it's Jesus or it's God, Mother Mary, the beginning of life, the Big Bang. I think when you look at me, and I think my mom or God or nature aptly named me Penuel, which is Hebrew for the face of God. So when you see me, you see the beginning and the end of everything. But I am the best version and the latest version of human collaboration. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
What a handsome man. Who is this handsome man?
Penuel, and from one lit candle, I'd like to say, keep shining.
Itu, I'm very honored to have been here. From when you sent me a message, I think I looked at some of your pictures and stuff. I looked at some of the work you were doing, and I had an idea of what we were going to speak about, and you completely broke that. I'm honored to have been in your presence, and energy is something you cannot really deny. And I've enjoyed your energy from when I came in here. I don't care about what you're doing here. This is just part of your life journey. I'm wishing you a bigger journey. I'm wishing you more souls with candles that you can light. And I look forward to you transforming lives, man. I love you. I believe in you. And I'm excited for all the people that are still going to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And from me, Mrs. Itu and Sekhu-Pedi, keep your perspective alive.